So in this session, we will try to perform database operations by using Servlet and JDBC. So we will try to perform various operations on the database such as insert operation, update operation, delete operation, display operation by using Servlet and JDBC. So in order to perform these operations, we will require some external jar file. We will require some jar file. So one of the jar file is called as MySQL connector. So here please try to understand that I am going to use MySQL database. So in order to connect our Java program to this MySQL database, we will require one jar file. We will require one connector. So actually it is called as driver, MySQL driver. So by using this driver, what we can do, can establish a communication, we can establish a connection between Java program and MySQL database. So we will require the jar file. So this jar file can be downloaded from this particular link. These links, okay, these two links are also given in the description box of this video. So you can visit to those links and you can download these two files. So first of all, let's try to download MySQL connector. So I will click on this link. So once I click on this link, okay, you will be redirected to this particular web page. On this web page, you will get again label called as connector, and below you will get one drop down box. So here from this drop down, you have to select Windows operating system. So I'm using Windows operating system, but here you will not be able to see Windows option. So what you have to do, you have to click on platform independent option. So once I click on this particular option, then again I will get two files. So which file we need to download? So we need to download this particular zip file. So I will click on this download. Then it will ask for the login, but in order to download this file, it is not required to log in. So here below you will get one link having a label, no thanks, just start my download. So I will click on this link. Once I click on this link, then this particular file will be downloaded. So let's go to the download folder. So here you can see that zip file. So what I will do, I will extract this file here. And once I extract this zip file, then I will get one folder having name MySQL connector. So let us open this, and in this folder you will get that jar file. So what I will do, I will copy this file and I will keep this file in one folder, okay, on the desktop having name as jar. So I will open this folder and here I will keep that MySQL connector file. Let's go to the second link. So this second link, it contains one file, it contains one library called a JSON library. So why this library is required? So this library is required in order to handle JSON data in our program. Okay, so this library will be required in order to handle JSON data in our program. So let me open this particular link. So after opening the link, you will be redirected to this particular web page. So here just you need to scroll down, and here you will get one option. Click here if you just want the latest release jar file. So click on this particular link, click on this link and see that jar file. Now it is getting downloaded. Okay, and let me copy this jar file and let us keep this jar file again in that folder on the desktop. Okay, now this particular folder contains both the jar files. Step is, we need to create dynamic web project in Eclipse. So I have opened Eclipse, then I will click on file, new, and here you will get one option called as dynamic web project. So just click on it. After that, we need to give some name to our project. So let's assume that name of the project is operation. Then below it, you will get one option called as target runtime. So you have to ensure that proper value has been selected for this target runtime. Now in my case here, I can see to runtime, okay, because I have clicked on this new runtime button 2 times, right? So in your case, if you are not getting here any option, okay, in that case what you have to do, you have to click on this new runtime. After that, here you have to explore this Apache folder, okay. Under this Apache, you have to select proper version of the Tomcat. So it will depend upon which Tomcat you have installed, which Tomcat you have in your system. So in my system, in my case, I have Apache Tomcat version 10.1. Okay, so that's why I will click on this particular option, and then I will select this particular option, and then I will click on next. Okay, and then you have to click on this finish. So already in my case, target runtime is visible here. So I will select this target runtime, and then not required to touch any other option, click on next, and here also not required to touch any other option, click on next, and then click on finish. Now our dynamic web project has been created. So here you can explore, okay, under project explorer, you will get your dynamic web project. Now, if I explore this project, then here you will get one option called as Java resources. So just explore it. Under Java resources, you will find again one more option called as source main Java. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to right click on this particular folder and you have to create a package. So under this folder, what we will do, we will try to create one package. And what is the name of this package? So you can give any name. So let's assume that name of my package is com.srs. So I have created package, and under this package now I can create the servlet. So again, right click on this package, click on new, and then I want to create servlet. So I will select this option servlet. Then give some name to your servlet. So let's assume that name of the servlet is sample. Name of the servlet is sample, and then what you have to do, you have to click on the next. Okay, again not required to do anything here. Again click on next, and here, yes, this is important. So here what you have to do, you have to select this service option. Okay, and not required to use this do get and do post. So service, it is one method which is present in servlet class. So I want to use this service method. So I will select this service method and then I will click on finish button. Now our servlet is ready. So here you will get one annotation, okay, and under this annotation you will find the class, servlet class. So what is name of our servlet? It is sample. So about this class, I told you that there is one annotation called as @web servlet. So what is use of this annotation? So this annotation indicate that if you want to access this particular servlet, then you need to use which URL pattern? /sample. Okay, so this particular pattern must be present in your URL. Now here in this class you will find service method. So this is important method for us. So in this service method we are going to write the code which will be responsible to handle the requests that are coming from the client side. So in this service method, what I will do, first of all, I am going to write statement something like this: request dot get parameter, okay, get parameter, and then here I will specify name of some variable, suppose ch. Okay, now let's try to understand it. Why I have written this statement. See, in this particular servlet, we are going to perform 4 operations. So first one is insert operation, second one is update operation, third one is delete operation, and fourth one is display operation. So here the question is that which operation is to be performed. Okay, so that choice, okay, that choice will accept from the front end. Okay, so the choice, okay, we are going to accept one choice from the front end, and that choice will tell this servlet, okay, whether insert operation has to be performed or some other operation has to be performed. If value of choice is 1, we will try to perform insert operation. If value of choice is 2, we will try to perform update operation, and so on. So the question is that how to send this choice from the front end. So here please try to understand that we are not going to write any front end code. Okay, so what we will do, we will send a request to this particular servlet by using only browser. Okay, so what I will do, I will open the browser, and in this browser I will open new tab, and here I will try to send request. Okay, by using this address bar, I will try to send request to our servlet. So how to send the request? So for that, first of all, what I will do, I will use one keyword called as localhost. Okay, localhost. After that I will use port number as 8080. So in my case, that port number is 8080. So in your case, it may happen that this port number, it may be different. Then slash. Then what is the name of our dynamic web project? It is operation. So here I will type operation, and then you have to write the URL. Okay, then you have to write URL pattern which is required in order to access this servlet. So in my case, which is that URL pattern? /sample. So I will write that /sample here, and then it will be followed by question mark. So okay, so after this question mark, what I am going to do, I am going to send the data. So please try to understand. In this case, what I am going to do, I am going to send data as a part of URL only. In the URL only, I am going to send the parameters. I am going to send the data. Okay, so which data I want to send? I want to send a choice, right? I want to send the choice, and here I have taken what name for that variable? It is ch. So here I will write ch is equal to 1. So here please try to understand that I want to send which value? I want to send 1. I want to send 1 for which variable? Ch. Okay, so this is called as actually query parameter. Okay, so here I am trying to send only one value. If I want to send one more value, in that case what we have to do, we have to use this operator called as AND operator. and operator followed by name of some second variable. So let's assume that I want to send name of some employee. So I can write suppose ename is equal to, and then it will be followed by value of that ename. So ename I want to assign string, so I will use double quote, and then here we can pass some string, suppose Mahesh. Okay, so in this way what we can do, we can pass more than one parameter by using this AND operator. So this way of passing these parameters, okay, these parameters which are sent as a part of URL are called as query parameter. So if front end is sending query parameter, then the question is that how to extract, okay, how to extract those query parameter from this request object. So this request object has got which method? Get parameter method, and then to this get parameter method we have to specify name of that particular variable whose value we want to extract. So it will give me value of choice, and that value I want to store in some variable. Let's assume that int x is equal to. So here Eclipse will give error. Why? Because what it says, so it says type mismatch, cannot convert from string to int. So this get parameter method is returning a string value. Okay, so it is required to convert that value into the integer. So typecasting is required. So how we can do this typecasting? So we can do this typecasting by using this integer class. Okay, so in Java there is one class called as integer. It has got one method called as parseInt. Okay, it has got one method parseInt, and this method, this parseInt method is going to take string as an input. Okay, so which string I want to pass? The string which is written by this get parameter method. So please try to understand. Get parameter method will return value of choice in string format. That string will convert into the integer. Now x is my choice. X contains the choice. Now if choice, okay, if choice is equal to 1, okay, if choice is equal to 1, then what I want to do? I want to perform which operation? If choice is equal to 1, I want to perform insert operation. So here we have stored choice in which variable? X. So I can say that if x is equal to 1, I want to perform insert operation. If x is equal to 2, x is equal to 2, what we will do? We will try to perform which operation? We will try to perform update operation, and if x is equal to 3, okay, if x is equal to 3, we will try to perform delete operation, and if x is equal to 4, okay, x is equal to 4, then we will try to perform display operation. We will try to perform display operation. In order to interact with the database, so first of all we will require database driver. So for database driver, already we have downloaded one jar file. So let's try to add that jar file to our dynamic web project. So for that, what I will do, I will right click on our project, then I will click on build path, then configure build path, then I will click on libraries, then I will click on class path, then here you will get one button called as add external jar. So click on this add external jar, and let's go to the desktop. So on desktop we have created one jar folder, and under that jar folder we have kept our jar file. So here I want to add MySQL connector. So I will select this MySQL connector, open, apply, close. After that, again right click on folder, build path, configure build path, and then now you need to click on deployment assembly. Click on apply, and then here again you will get one option called as add. Click on add, Java build path entries, click on next, and here again you will get that jar, so our MySQL jar. So select it and click on finish, apply, and close. Now we have added MySQL jar file to our project. Now what we will do, we will try to connect. Okay, so we will try to connect with our database. So in order to connect database, we will require that driver class. So first of all, we need to load that driver class. So how to load that driver class? So in order to load that driver class, we can make use of one class available in Java, and name of that class is class itself. Okay, so there is one class having name class. It has got one method called as forName, and in this forName, okay, for name method. Okay, to this for name method, you have to pass name of the class which you want to load. So I want to load driver class. So there is one name. Okay, there is one name of that driver class. So what is that name? So it is like this: com.mysql.cj.jdbc.driver. So this is fully qualified name of driver class which is provided by MySQL. So here on this line, okay, what we are trying to do, we are trying to load this driver class file by using this for name method. Now on this line we are getting one error. So let's try to understand what is that error. Unhandled exception, type class not found exception. So this line, it may generate the exception. So it is required to handle that exception. So we know that we can handle exception by the try catch block. So what I will do, I will keep all this code in the try block. Okay, all this code in the try block, and this try block will be followed by one catch block, and here I will pass exception object, and then here I will try to display. Okay, I will try to display this exception object. Okay. Now here we have loaded the driver class. Now let's try to verify whether this class is getting loaded properly or not. So if this class is not loaded, what is going to happen? Exception will be generated. And if this class is loaded, okay, then the instruction which we are going to write after this will be executed. So let's display here one message, okay, on the console, like driver class is loaded. Driver class is loaded. Now let's run this servlet. So how to run this servlet? So right click on it, then run as and run server. Then here we have to select our Apache server. Okay, so Apache, and then here select the version. So in my case it is 10.1. Click on next. Okay, so before this, actually we need to configure the server. Now click on this server option. So here you will get message that no servers are available. Click this link to create a new server. So let's click on this link. Then here you need to select Apache folder. You need to explore this Apache folder, and here you have to select proper version for the Tomcat. In my case it is 10.1. So I will select this option. Click on next. Then I want to execute this particular dynamic web project having name operation on this particular Tomcat. So I will select this, and then I will click on add, and then click on finish. Okay. Now we will right click on our project, okay, and click on run as, run on server. Now again select this Tomcat server, click on next. Okay, so ensure that here you are able to see that operation. Okay, that is here you are able to see the name of your dynamic web project, and click on finish. So here I am getting one error that port 8005 required by Tomcat version 10.1 server is already in use. So it is required to change this port number. Okay, so this particular port number is already in use. So how to change this port number? So for that, what I will do, I will click on this particular, okay, so under this server, you will be able to see this option, Tomcat server. So I will double click it, I will double click on it, and then here you can change the port number. So here you can see the port number like 8005. So here 8005, instead of that I will say 9005, and here also I can change this port number, it is 8008, so I can make it to 9080. Then let us save it, and now let's close it, and now let's again try to rerun our dynamic web project. So run as, run on server, select this Tomcat server, click on next, click on finish. Now I have changed the port number, click on allow access. Okay, so our server has been started, right? So localhost, then here port number is 9080. So now just now we have changed that port number because 8080 it was giving us some problem, right? So 9080, then This is name of our project, and then after this, what we have to do? We have to type this URL pattern. So in our case, which is URL pattern? It is sample, and then let us press enter key. Once I press the enter key, please try to understand what is going to happen. One request, okay, it will be sent to our servlet, okay, and that request will be handled by the service method. So let's send that request. Okay, so here what error we are getting? Cannot pass null string. Cannot pass null string. Okay, so why we are getting this error? So we are getting one null error. Why it is getting? Because here we are sending the request, but we are not sending any data. So this servlet is expecting that. Your request, it should contain some data, right? Your request should contain value for which variable? ch. So we will try to pass that value. So already I told you how we can use query parameters. Okay, how we can pass data in the URL itself. So after this URL, you have to type question mark, then name of the variable, that is ch, then equal to 1. Now let us press enter key. Okay, so now request has been sent, and along that with that HTTP request, which value is sent? So this 1. Okay, so this 1 has been sent. Okay, so that 1 has been received. So that data has been received by this service method. Okay, so whatever data that we have sent from the front end, okay, it will get stored here in which variable? X variable. Then here this try block has been executed. Okay, try block has been executed. Then this line has tried to load this driver class. Okay, now this class has been loaded, so that's why here this system.out.println, so this particular line has been executed, and due to that on the console we are able to see this message that driver class is loaded. It indicates that this driver class has been loaded successfully. Now after loading this driver class, next step is we have to establish connection with the database. So let me show you the database. Okay, so this is MySQL database. Okay, so this is MySQL server, and in this MySQL server I have created one database. Okay, I have created one database having name empdb. Under this empdb you will find a table, okay, a table called as emp. And if I explore this table, okay, so currently it is empty. Okay, currently this table is empty. So if I write this query select, then star from emp, okay, and if I execute this query, then select star from, so no database has been selected. So here first of all what we have to do, we have to select that database. So this table is present in which database? empdb. Okay, I will write this query, and then our second query will be select star from emp. And now let's try to execute this 2 query. Okay, now let's try to execute this 2 query. So what is the result? So result is null. Okay, because our table emp table is empty. It does not contain any record. So let's try to connect to this empdb database. Okay, now so in order to establish connection with this particular database, okay, of MySQL server. Okay, so see what I am going to do. I am going to make use of one class. What is the name of that class? It is driver manager. This class has got one method. The name of that method is get connection. And this get connection method, okay, so this get connection method will help us to establish connection between Java program and MySQL database. So this get connection method, it takes 3 arguments. So the very first argument is URL of the database. So URL of the MySQL database is something like this: JDBC :MySQL, then again / then localhost, then :3306, then / okay, name of the database to which you want to connect with the database having name empdb. Let me write here empdb. So this is first parameter. Now please try to understand that this is standard. Or we can say this is standard URL. Okay, so this is standard URL which we need to use in order to connect with the MySQL database. Okay, and this URL is followed by, it should be followed by name of your database. So this name of the database, it may change. Okay, it may change in your case. Then the second parameter is username. So in my case, the username is root. Then third parameter is password. In my case, the password is test@123 and then semicolon. That's it. So what this get connection method will do? So please try to understand. Get connection method is taking 3 parameters. Okay, so which are those 3 parameters? So the first parameter is name of or URL of the MySQL database. Okay, so this is standard URL. So in this URL, okay, what is going to change? Only this last thing. So after this URL, after writing this URL, you have to write name of your database. So this name of the database is going to change. Then second parameter is username and third parameter is the password. Fine. So this get connection method will return you one object, okay, and that object will be of type connection. So here first of all I will write connection, okay. So I will try to import this connection interface, and then here I will create one reference variable. Now let's assume that name of the reference variable is CRUD. Now here I want to check whether this connection has been established or not. If there is something wrong with this URL, or if there is something wrong in the username or in the password, it may happen that connection may not be established. So how to check whether connection is established? So here we can check if, okay, we can check if connection is not equal to null. Okay, we can check whether this connection, okay, whether this connection object, okay, whether it is null or not. If it is not null, okay, if it is not null, then only we are going to execute this if statement. Okay, then only we are going to execute this if statement. Else, okay, else we can again display some message on the console like system.out.println, and here we can display message that database connection, okay, database connection is failed. Database connection is failed. Fine. Now let us see whether connection is getting established or not. So if connection is established, okay, we know that this if block will be executed. So in this if block, what we will do? Again we will display one message. Okay, again we will display one message. The connection, okay, the connection is established. Let us save it. Now let's again run our dynamic web project. Okay, so actually it is getting reloaded. Okay, so it is getting reloaded automatically. So in this case it is not required to again rerun our dynamic web project. Okay, so it is reloaded automatically. Fine. So whenever we are making any change, please try to understand that it will reload. Now let's go to the web browser. In the web browser, again we will type this URL. Again we will press enter key. So request will be sent to our servlet. Now what has happened on our servlet? See, we are able to see these two messages. Driver class is loaded, connection is established. Okay, fine. So there is no problem in the connection. Connection has been established. After that, what we will do? We will check this X. Okay, so from here we will get a value of X. So front end is going to send value of X. So if X is 1, then what we want to do? We want to perform insert operation. So in order to perform insert operation, we will require some query. In order to execute query, we will require a statement object. We will require prepared statement. Okay, so how to obtain that prepared statement? So see, we can make use of this connection object. It has got one method called as prepared. Okay, it has one method called as prepared. Just 1 minute. Prepare statement. Okay, so it will take. So this prepare statement method will take the SQL query which is to be executed. So I want to execute which query? Insert. So I want to insert data in which table? Insert into which table? EMP. Then in EMP again, what are the column name? So the first column name is ename, okay, and second column name is salary. See, this is our EMP table. The first column is ename and second column is salary. Then which values I want to pass? So values, okay, values, and then here I'm going to write question mark, okay, question mark and comma question mark. Now what is significance of this question mark? So this question mark actually acts as a placeholder. So this question marks indicate that the values. Okay, here values will be provided later on. Okay, value for employee name, value for employee salary will be provided on later on. So we will get value of EMP name, okay, employee name and employee salary, of course, from the front end. Okay, so here what we will do, we will extract. Okay, we have to extract that values from the front end. Okay, so now before that, what we will do, so this prepared statement, again it will return one object and we need to store that object in some variable. Okay, let's call that variable as PS, and this PS variable will be of type prepared statement, right? So I hope now this line is clear to you. So what we are doing here we are creating prepared statement. So this prepared statement object will help us to execute the query. Now in order to execute this particular query, we will require values of name, okay, employee name and employee salary. So again, in order to send value of employee name and employee salary, we will make use of query parameter, and we know how to fetch, okay, this query parameter from the request. Okay, so request object, it has got one method called as get parameter. Okay, now I want to fetch value of which parameter. So let us call it as name. So let's assume that front end is sending employee name in which variable? Name. Okay, so this request, this get parameter will return me one string, and we can store that string in one variable. Let us call it as e name. Okay, e name. Fine. So string e name is equal to, so string, yes, so here yes should be capital. Fine. Then the second value which we are expecting from front end is salary. Okay, so here again we can write the statement like request dot get parameter. I want value of which parameter? So I want salary. Okay, I want salary, and this salary, okay, again this salary will be written in string format. Okay, we want to convert it into integer, so I can make use of integer class. Integer class has got one method called as parseInt, and to this parseInt method, what I am going to do, I am going to send, okay, I am going to pass this particular string. Okay, I am going to pass this particular string. So parseInt method will return me one integer which will correspond to our salary that we can store in some variable. Let us call it as ES, employee salary, employee name. Okay, fine. Now let's try to understand again what is going to happen. So whenever choice is equal to 1, what we will do, from request object we will fetch value of employee name, from request object we will fetch value of salary, and we will store them in this two variable. Now what we want to do, we want to bind these two values, okay, value of employee name and value of employee salary to this particular query. Okay, so how to bind value of this two variable to this particular query. Okay, so this query is present in this PS. Okay, PS, that is prepared statement. So what I will do, I will say PS dot, I want to set first parameter. So which is first parameter? First parameter is employee name, which is a string. Okay, so here what we have to do, on this PS object we have to call set string method. Set string, I want to set the string, right? And this string, okay, this string I want to bind this particular string to this placeholder. Please try to understand. Here we have two placeholder. This question mark, they are going to act as a placeholder. So here first question mark, first placeholder, second question mark, second placeholder. So this placeholder, they have index associated with it. So I can say that the index of this first placeholder will be 1. Okay, so that's why here what I have to do, I have to write 1. So this 1 indicate that I want to set string, I want to bind string to the first placeholder. Okay, and which string? So the string which is present in which variable? En. So I can write statement something like this. Fine. Now, what is our next task? We want to bind, okay, value of ES, that is employee salary, to this second placeholder. So for that, I can write statement something like this: PS dot set. Now salary is integer, so I can call set int method. Okay, and I want to bind this salary to the second placeholder, right? So that's why I will write 2, and then I can specify name of our variable. Okay, so what is the name of our variable which hold the employee salary? It is ES. So I can write statement something like this. Okay, now I can say that my query is complete. Okay, I want to execute that query. So how to execute the query? So in order to execute the query, this PS object, it has got one method called as execute update. Execute update. I want to execute update type of query, right? So we are inserting data into the database, means we are updating the database. So whenever we want to execute query which is going to update the database, at that time we need to use this particular method, execute update. So this execute update method will return me one integer, okay, which will tell us how many records are affected. So let us store that count in some variable. Okay, let us call it as row affected, and then we can display that message here, sysout. Okay, we can display that message here. The number of rows affected. Are, okay, number of rows affected are. So how many rows are affected? So we have stored that value in which variable? Row affected. Fine. Okay. Now let's try to verify this particular code. Let's try to check whether it is working or not. So again, what we will do? We will rerun our project. So run on server. Okay, so click on finish, restart the server. Okay, server has been restarted. Now we want to send a request to our servlet. Okay, so in order to send the request to the servlet, what we have to do here? We have to use the URL pattern. So URL pattern is sample. After that, we are going to send choice. So choice is 1. So along with the choice, please try to understand, I want to send two more things. First one is employee name. Okay, and for sending employee name, I'm expecting that front end should use, okay, what name, then what variable name, the name. Okay, so that's why here I will write name is equal to, so what employee name I want, suppose Sai. Okay, again it will be followed by ampersand. Okay, again it will be followed by and, again it will be followed by and, then which is second parameter that I am expecting from the front end, salary. Okay, so again I will write that variable name salary is equal to, so I can say that 10,000 1 lakh. Fine, and now let's press enter key. Once I press enter key, so HTTP request will be created. It will be sent to our servlet. Okay, and see what message we are getting on the console. Okay, so driver class is loaded, connection is established, and number of rows affected are 1. So now let's see whether this record has been inserted in our MySQL database or not. Okay, so let's refresh. Let us select start from EMP. So let's execute this particular query and see. We got that record. Employee ID is 1. Okay, so ID is auto increment. For this particular table, ID is set as auto increment. So whenever we are inserting some record, value of ID will be incremented by 1. Then employee name, we are getting Sai from the front end. Then employee salary is 1 lakh. Fine. So this is our first record which is inserted in the database table. Now let's try to insert one more record. So for inserting one more record, what we can do? Again, we can send second request, one more request. So choice is 1. Then I want employee name as, suppose, Mahesh. Okay, and let's assume that I want salary as 50,000. Let us press enter key. Okay, so request has been sent to the servlet. Okay, so here again we got message that the connection is established again. Okay, the connection is established with the database again, and then the number of rows affected are 1. Now let's see our database table. Let us execute this query again and see. Now in our database we have got 2 records. So our first operation is working perfectly. Now let's try for second operation. So the second operation which we want to implement is update operation. Okay, update operation. So here whenever choice is 2, okay, we are expecting update. So in update, what we will do, so our database table actually contain 3 columns, right? So first one is ID, then second one is employee name, and third one is salary. So we will try to update the salary. Okay, we will try to update the salary. So here let's try to write code for update. So if we want to perform update operation, again we have to execute the query. In order to execute query, we will require prepare statement. In order to obtain that prepare statement, what we have to do, we have to make use of connection object. Okay, we have to make use of connection object. So which is our connection object? CON. See here, we have created that connection object. So I can make use of that connection object. Again, I want to create prepared statement. Again, I want to make prepared statement. So prepared statement will take one query as an input. So here I want to execute now update query. Update. Okay. Then name of the database table. So name of the database table is emp. Then I want to set which field? Employee salary, salary. Okay, salary, and I want to set this salary equal to, then here I will use again placeholder question mark. Then here I will specify where clause, where id is equal to again question mark. So again I am expecting that this employee salary, okay, and this employee id, it should come from the front end. Okay, in case of update operation. So let's assume that front end is sending these two values. Okay, so those two values will come in request. So from request, what we have to do, we have to fetch that two values. So I can say get parameter. Okay, get parameter. So what I want to fetch? So let's assume that I want to fetch id. Okay, let's assume that I want to fetch id. So here, let us assume that front end is sending id. In which variable? Suppose id variable itself. Okay, otherwise, in order to avoid confusion, here we can say suppose eid. Okay, eid. So this get parameter, again it will return one string. We have to convert it into integer. So for that again we can call integer dot parse int method, and to this parse int method, what we can do, parse int method, we can send this particular string. Okay, let me parse this string. Okay, so it will return the integer. So let us store that integer again in some variables, suppose int and eid. So again here we have eid. So let us use here emp id. Fine. Okay, so this is our first value. This is our first value which we will get from the front end. The second value is we are expecting employee salary. So for that again I have to write okay, something like request dot. Okay, again I want to obtain parameter, get parameter, right? And then here I have to specify name of the variable. Okay, so I am expecting that front end should send employee salary in which variable? salary. Okay, and let's store again we have to do here typecasting integer dot, I can call which method? Parse int, and to this parse int I can pass again this particular string. Okay, the string is sent. It is converted into integer, and let us store it in some variable called as emp salary. Fine, emp salary. And now what is the next step? Yes, semicolon is missing. Fine. Now what we want to do? We want to bind these two values to this two placeholder. So for that, what we have to do? We have to make use of prepared statement, but we have not stored this prepared statement in some variable. So let us use again ps. Okay, and what should be the data type? So here data type should be prepared statement. Okay, ps is equal to, then ps dot. Okay, so which is first value that we want to set? Employee salary. Okay, so ps dot set. So I have to call which method? Set int. Let us call set int. Then what is the index of that placeholder? It is 1, and the value is present in which variable? It is emp sal. Okay, emp sal. So what this statement will do? It will assign value of employee salary. It will bind value of this particular variable to the first placeholder. Okay, to the first placeholder. Then which is second placeholder? So in our query, our second placeholder, it corresponds to the ID. So I want to set that second placeholder. So again I can say that ps dot set. Okay, again it is integer, then it is second placeholder, and I want to bind value of emp ID here. Fine. Okay, now our query is complete. Then we want to execute it. So again ps dot, I can call which method? Execute query. Okay, execute update. execute update. Fine. And now it is also going to return some integer value. So let us store it in some variable. Suppose number of row affected. Okay, number of row affected, and let's try to display that count. Okay, so I can say that again, the number of affected row is, and then I can display value of that row affected variable. Okay, now let's try to execute this query. Now please try to understand what we are going to do now. We are going to send choice as a 2. Okay, then we will send employee ID, we will send employee salary, and then accordingly this update query will be executed. Okay, so update query will be executed. This new employee salary will be set to the employee whose ID is in EID. Okay, so now let's send request from the front end. Okay, so let us go to the front end. So here first of all I want to send the choice. Okay, I want to send the choice. So choice is 2, and okay, and which is second thing that we want to send. So second thing is EID. Okay, second thing is EID. So which record we want to update? So let's update record. Let's update the employee record whose ID is 2. Okay, so let's make salary as employee salary of Mahesh or 2. Let's increase salary of this Mahesh to 60,000. Okay, so here I will say employee ID is 2, and I'm expecting that this employee salary, the next variable it should be employee salary is equal to, and we want to send which salary, 60,000. Let us press enter again. So the request will go to the servlet. On servlet will find that choice is 2. Okay, so 2 means update operation. So the employee whose ID is 2 will be updated. The salary will be set to 60,000. So let's verify. So let us again execute this select query. Okay, and let us see what is salary of Mahesh. So see, salary of Mahesh has been increased to 60,000. It indicates that we have performed update operation also. Now let's move ahead. Now we want to perform delete operation. Okay, so let's come in this next if block. Okay, so if choice is 3, we want to perform delete operation. So if we want to perform delete operation, okay, so we have to execute some query. In order to execute query, we require a prepared statement. So in order to obtain that prepared statement, again, what we can do, we can make use of connection object. Connection object has got prepared statement method. Here we have to write some query. So I want to write delete. Okay, delete from. Okay, delete from which table? EMP. Okay, where. So let us specify the condition where ID is equal to, and we have to specify the ID. So again, we are expecting that this ID should come from the front end. So what I will do, I will copy this line only. Okay, so by using this line, what we will do, we will try to fetch. Okay, we will try to fetch value of employee ID from the request. So as in that, front end is going to send this employee ID as a query parameter. Okay, so we can write the line like this. Okay, now we got the employee ID which is to be deleted. Then what is going to happen? This query will be executed. Before executing this query, we have to set this particular placeholder. So prepared statement. So here again we have to take some reference variable PS. Then this reference variable will be of type prepared statement. So I can write statement like this. So PS dot. Now we want to set. Okay, again we want to set integer. I can call set int method. Okay, so I want to bind value to the first placeholder, and which value? That value is present in EMP ID. Fine. So now my query is ready. So once query is ready, again what we can do? We can execute that query. So how to execute the query? So in order to execute query, we have which method? Execute update method. Okay, please try to understand. We have which method? Execute. Okay, execute update. Fine, execute update. And so this method is going to return again some integer value. Let's store it in some variable. Suppose integer row affected, and then we can display value of this variable. Okay, so again we can display message like the number of rows affected are. Okay, number of rows affected are. Now let's try to display value of this particular variable here. Okay, so this should perform delete operation. So let's verify. So now let us see our database. So in our database we have two records, 1 and 2. Okay, ID is 1, ID is 2. So let's assume that I want to delete this second record. Okay, so in that case what we can do, we can make use of this servlet. Okay, so here no choice should be 3. So accordingly what we'll do, we'll send the request from the front end. Okay, now from front end I'm expecting that the choice should be 3. Okay, and the employee ID it should be 2. Now let us press enter key. Again HTTP request will be created, it will be sent to the servlet, and in servlet what is going to happen? In servlet this if block will be executed. Why? Because we have sent choice as 3. Fine. Now let us see our database. Okay, so let's execute this select query again. Now see our database table, it contains only one record. The record whose ID is 2 has been deleted. Okay, no, fine. Now the next step is display. Okay, let us try to display all records present in the database. Okay, so for that again we will require some prepared statement. Okay, how we can obtain prepared statement? So we can make use of connection object. So connection dot, it has got which method? Prepared statement. So prepared statement will take the query as an input. So which query we want to execute? Select star from emp. Okay, so this prepared statement method will return me one object of type. Okay, of type prepared statement. So I will store again that object in PS, and then see here if I see this query. Okay, so this query does not contain any placeholder. This does not contain any placeholder, so that's why it is not required to assign any, or it is not required to bind any value, right? Any value here. So directly what we can do, we can execute this query. So how to execute the query? So here please try to understand that. Now we cannot use execute update. Okay, here we have to go for some other method called as execute query method. Okay, execute query method. So execute query method is going to return me one object of type result set. Okay, result set. Okay, so I will call execute query method. Okay, execute query method, and this execute query method is going to return me one object of type result set. Okay, so result set, will import this particular class and I will create its reference variable result set rs is equal to. Okay, now please try to understand what is going to happen. This execute query method is going to execute which query? Select star from emp. Okay, so all records present in emp table will be paged, and all those records will get stored in this particular result set. So what is our next step? Now we want to iterate this result set. We want to display all the records that are present in this result set on the console. Okay, so let's try to display all records present in this result set on the console. So for that what we can do? We can make use of while loop. Okay, while, then what is name of our result set variable? It is rs. So rs dot, it has got one method called as next. So see, this while loop is executed. While loop will be executed till this next method which is present in this rs. Okay, which is present in this result set object. Okay, it is going to return true. For that many times, what we have to do? We have to repeat body of this while loop. So in the body of this while loop, what we will do? We will say sysout. Okay, sysout, that is system.out.println. Okay, system.out.println, and then so if I consider this result set, so this result set will contain records that are coming from the database table. So in our database table, which is first column, that is present employee ID. Okay, which is first column that is present, it is employee ID. Now let's see our database table. So in our database table, so very first field is ID. Now see how I'm going to write the code. Okay, so I will say that employee. Okay, I will say that employee ID is. Okay, so employee ID is present in this result set. Okay, so for that what I can do, I can write statement something like this: rs dot. So from this result set, I want to get what type of data? I want to get integer data. Okay, integer data which is present at which index 1. Please try to understand. So this is our database table. Okay, so database table contain ID and name. Okay, employee name and employee salary. So in our result set, what is going to happen? This ID will be present at index 1, employee name will be present at index 2, and employee salary will be present at index 3. Okay, it will be present at index 3. So that's why on this result set, I can call which method? Get_int method. Okay, because I know that employee ID is integer, so I will call get_int method, and here I am going to pass 1 as an index. Fine. So what this get_int method will do? It is going to return employee ID. Fine. Now employee ID is displayed. In same way, now what we will do? We will try to display the next column that is present in our database table. So which is next column that is present in our database table? It is employee name. So I can say that employee name is equal to, okay, so again we can fetch that record from our result set. So r is dot get. Now please try to understand that the next column in our database table is employee name, okay, and it is string. Okay, so that's why we have to call which method? Get string method. Okay, get string method. By using this get string method, I want the value present in a result set present at which index 2. Fine, present at which index 2 in the first record, right? Then similarly, I can say that system.out.println. Then I want to fetch next attribute which is present at third index, right? And which is that attribute? So that attribute is nothing but employee salary. Fine, employee salary. And then here again I can say that r is dot, okay, employee salary is integer, so I can call which method? Get_int. Okay, so I want integer present at which index? Index 3. Okay, and that's it. Okay, before displaying all these things, again we can display here one message: system.out.println that employee details are. Okay, now let's run our dynamic web project again. So run on server, next finish. Okay, okay, so our server has been started. So again we will send the request. Now in this time we want to send choice as 4. Okay, we want to send choice as 4. So we can type URL something like this. Okay, name of dynamic project followed by name of the servlet. Okay, now not name of the servlet, the URL pattern, okay, which is required to access the given servlet. So in our case it is sample. Then here we want to send one parameter. Name of that parameter is choice. And now I want to perform last operation, fourth operation, that is display operation. So let us press enter key. So request has been created, request has been sent to servlet. Servlet has processed that request, and let's see what result we are getting on the console. Okay, so on the console we are getting employee ID as 1, then employee name is Sai, and employee salary as 1 lakh. Right? Now in our table there was only one record. So now we will try to insert one more record. So for inserting record, okay, the choice should be 1. Okay, choice should be 1, and it is required to pass name, salary. Okay, it is required to pass name, salary, these two values from the front end. So accordingly again we will prepare the request. Okay, so choice should be 1 and name is equal to choice should be 1, and again let us pass name as Mahesh, salary as 50,000. Let us press enter key. Okay, let us observe our database table. Let us execute this query again. Yes, we got the 2 records. Okay, so employee ID is 1 and employee ID is 3. Fine. And now let us try to display these 2 records on the console. Okay, so for that what we have to do? We have to send a request something like this. Okay, so now choice should be 4. Let us press enter key. Okay, request is sent to the servlet, and let's see what output we are getting on the console. Fine. So see, employee details are. So this is our first employee. Employee ID is 1, surname is Sai. Okay, and this is our second record. Employee ID is 3, employee name is Mahesh, and employee salary is 50,000. So in this particular task, actually we have not used that second library. Okay, that is JSON library. So just by using a MySQL connector, okay, we have completed this particular task. Thank you.